I don't mind. And I tell you, 5 years from now, when everybody's saying, man, I'm sure glad we got health care, there are going to be a whole bunch of people who don't call it Obamacare anymore because they don't want me to get the credit.
There you go. Yeah, Charles Barkley, ladies and gentlemen, sitting down with our president. I don't know. Was this before the All-Star game? There must have been some connection. I mean, he did it with O'Reilly before the Super Bowl. I guess he did it with Barkley before the All-Star game. But he asked him if he minds the name Obamacare for the Affordable Care Act, and you heard the answer. No, because 10 years when this is great, they're going to take it away from him because no one's going to want to give him credit. Welcome back, Peter Morici, our friend, economist, joins us. Hello, Peter.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
During the campaign and the debates with Romney, he said, oh, it's fine to call it Obamacare. That's fine. I like that. But Nancy Pelosi, when things started heading south, started prohibiting people from using that phrase. And I think there was some reference that if you use that phrase, you're a racist.
Absolutely.
Or something like
I recall the same exact thing. Absolutely.
But the reason is that she drinks from the same well of old age thinking as Jimmy Carter. Remember when they were campaigning for Obamacare, Mr. Senility down there in Georgia said you were a racist if you opposed it. Gee whiz, I mean, I guess I'm a racist for not wanting cancer patients to lose their doctors and die.
Well, Peter, you're going to be, when Hillary runs, you're going to be we're all going to be sexist for anything we say about or disagree with Hillary. So you're a racist now, you'll be a sexist then. I don't know, I guess when the first gay candidate runs, you'll be a homophobe if you disagree with them. But let me talk about Obamacare here and the latest revelation, and that is that the fourth hospital in the state of Georgia in 2 years has closed because of severe financial difficulties caused by the way the Obamacare Act pays for emergency services. 4 hospitals had to close.
Well, one of the things that's going on is that in rural areas, there's often only one provider or 2 providers of these accredited insurance policies on the Obamacare website. And that puts them in a position like your local cable provider.
Yeah.
Who, have you noticed that your local cable provider has not yet discovered deflation or constant prices? But in any case, think about Comcast running the healthcare system. The first thing they would do would be to try to screw down the hospitals. And the way they're doing that is limiting the number of hospitals you can go to. After all, if you can only buy healthcare from one company, you got to go to the hospital they send you to, even if it's 82 miles away in Biloxi and you happen to live in Georgia. But what that also means is your local hospital doesn't have patients and doesn't have revenues, so it closes. This is the kind of consolidation that you'd expect to see in the Soviet Union. But this is Obamacare.
Yeah, and here's my problem with it, and then I'm going to ask you about something that Charles Hurt wrote about today in his column. We just spoke with him, and I think you might have heard some of it. And I'm like a broken record, but because the Republicans are broken. Where's the congressman from Georgia, the senators from Georgia, out front today at a press conference, inviting all the media and drumming this point home? Look, here's the latest fiasco to occur. Why can't Republicans do that? Why can they not communicate?
I really don't know. I think that they are so ideologically hidebound, and they really don't have an alternative. I mean, how many more times is Congressman Ryan going to recycle in some new form vouchers for granny and call it healthcare reform? What we need in this country is a recognition that there really isn't a market in healthcare, that we've got a bunch of hustlers and sharp dealers in the medical profession, and especially at the health insurance companies, who have learned how to game the system, and they simply need to be ungamed. One of the things I would do right off the bat is I would say to all the pharmaceutical companies, you have to charge in the United States what you charge in Germany for drugs. And they'll say, well, gee, that's enough. We can't do our R&D. I said, well, that's fine. Get higher prices out of the Germans, and we'll pay those too.
Well, explain to Peter, explain to idiots like me that what's an R&D.
That is a Chinese currency. That's the yuan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know how that gets into the healthcare discussion.
Yeah, no. Didn't you say R&D?
No. What I said was I would require that American healthcare pharmaceutical manufacturers sell drugs in the United States for the same price they sell them at in Germany. And if they tell us those prices are too low for them to make money, I would respond by saying, well, fine, get the Germans to give you a higher price. I would basically outsource the regulation of drug prices to the Germans.
Oh, I thought I heard that the R&D or something. That's why I asked you. I'm sorry.
Just probably creeping senility on my part.
No, probably maybe you're just got a twitch, like you gotta say it every so often, and once every 3 days, and this was the time when you said it. But now,
I do have a reputation for being obsessed about the Chinese yuan.
Well, I thought you said it'd be interesting to go back on the tape. But having said that, the same thing. Charles Hurt wrote a piece about immigration and how Republicans have to. The only thing Republicans could do is speak to the Hispanic community and explain immigration reform to them and explain why we welcome these people here in the first place, and that's because we're a country of laws, etc. But again, as I said to Charles, and as it relates to this, I don't trust Republicans to have the capability to communicate anything to anybody.
Well, I mean, look at the Speaker of the House. If anybody has the pulpit, it's him. And what he puts up with from the president and the opportunities that he's passed through the budget deals. For example, remember the fiscal cliff? When the president said, if you don't just raise taxes on the wealthy, then I'm going to let the old law expire and taxes will go up on everybody.
Right.
You know what I would have said? Mr. President, you've been saying that we should pay higher taxes. It's only fair that everybody pays higher taxes. Congratulations, you've got your way. But instead they play chicken on the budget when the courts have given, on the debt ceiling, when the courts have given the president all the cards. That's where they really do, make their mistakes. Another good one. When the president wanted the mandate postponed the first time on businesses for a year,
right,
it was determined that he needed to change the law to do that. Since that time, he's given up, worrying about that. And they went to the Congress, and Ryan and Boehner went along. They voted for a bill that postponed it. At that point, I would have said, oh, no, Mr. President. Fairness requires that we extend the mandate for everybody.
Well, that's a strategy that I don't think we're ever going to see from this speaker and this Republican Party, unfortunately. Hey, Peter, great to talk to you. Thanks for sticking around, sir.
Take care.
Take care. Peter Morici, ladies and gentlemen. And when we come back, John Lott will join us. Here's an example of a so-called study, or a study that was done, that John Lott believes and I believe is misrepresented, and then the media reports on it. Give a listen. Give a view. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax Television.
The Steve Malzberg Show.